Welcome back to this already, the final segment of today's Price of Business, and I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Charles Alvarez is a regular contributor on this program, always bringing great content, great information to the program. He does a phenomenal job with his company, Cornerstone Business Academy, in helping companies take their business to the next level. I know firsthand from consulting work he's done with my businesses that I can speak very highly of what he does. He's got a great guest lined up today and looking forward to that. But before he introduces his guest, I'd like him to take a minute to talk about Cornerstone Business Academy. Charles?
Thank you for having me, Kevin. Always a pleasure being on the show. We work with sales teams to actually get them to sell. You know, we hear so many of our clients say that, our sales team are just order takers or that can't get them to follow a process or, are, just a victim of the fact that only 21% of the sales force in America today are actually haven't got any training whatsoever when it comes to sales. And speaking of sales, we have one of the best sales organizations and a really great organization here in Houston that was on so many lists that if I stacked papers on that list together, they would probably go from here to Dallas. So welcome, Xeno Imaging.
Thanks, Charles.
Welcome to the program. Real quickly, Casey, kind of give us the elevator speech of the organization.
Well, Xeno Imaging is a document management company. We grew up from being your typical copier company that slung copiers and faxes out of the back of their cars to now we manage the entire life cycle of a document from the time you hit print from your desktop to the time it's made into a pamphlet or a booklet. And so we manage accounts receivable, accounts payable, business process automation, you name it, we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're playing a bad game show. We haven't even said your full name. I think we got the Casey, but not the Casey Vaughn. And so, who is that guy? That's who that guy is. And by the way, you're in my neighborhood. I live right near the Spring Branch. I'm in the Spring Branch area. I love that area, and so great part of town. So, how old is the company?
Xeno Imaging has been around just a little bit over 20 years.
Very good. Go ahead, Charles.
So, kind of give us an idea of how your company works. In other words, if I, have all this, stuff in my office and I'm having a hard time managing it, kind of walk me through what kind of business problems are you actually facing and addressing with Xeno Imaging?
Oh, boy. Typically we see companies today, right where our corporate office is, kind of over in the energy corridor where Houston is a big oil and gas energy city. We'll run across businesses that are looking to reduce costs. Sometimes that includes reducing headcount. We take a little bit of a different approach. We'll definitely get right in the middle of your issues, whether it be accounts payable, accounts receivable, or workflow processes, so that not only can we free up horsepower to do things that will help you increase your profits as an organization, but it will also help you kind of define some of the more innovative uses of document management that are out there today.
Are there certain verticals that gravitate towards your services?
Well, being that our corporate offices are based here in Houston.
You have no interest in energy.
Oh, yeah, no, none at all, no. Houston, obviously, the energy is really big, but the verticals with faith-based, we've got medical that's huge here in Houston, but that will be a lot different whenever we talk about our Austin office or our Dallas offices. So, we do focus on what drives business in the communities and in the cities in which we're located. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make us necessarily just a Texas company. We've got a great strategy with a North American and worldwide deployment for several large organizations. So we do a good job of really jumping in feet first and figuring out what it is that we need to do in order to establish value with our customers and clients and partners.
Yeah, very good. Go ahead, Charles.
So I'd be curious, what would you say to some, old school guy that says, you know what, I deal with paper, I like paper, it's what I grew up with, it's what I understand. I really don't need what Xeno Imaging has to offer. What would you say to that individual?
Well, actually, Charles, that's we're in this kind of unique time in our business where we have a large focus on turning people's attentions away from paper, and a lot of people would think that, man, you're doing the best job you can to put yourself out of business, because that kind of is the result or the product of what a copier does, is that it shoots out paper.
Right.
So while we do run across that occasionally, it's not the norm any longer. But we're still here to make sure that that our customers and our clients know that we're here for them and for their best interests. But if at the end of the day we just don't get through or don't find an opportunity, we do want to make someone a Xeno customer. So we take them under our wing, we take care of them, and you just never know. Not everybody is on the same calendar. So that young man that feels like he's just in the paper business, one day we may see an opportunity where we can show him the value of what it is that we really excel at.
Mm-hmm. No question about it. By the way, I do want to mention the website is Xeno Imaging, Zeno imaging.com. Go ahead, Charles.
So can you kind of give us an example of a customer that you are either currently serving or have served in the past to where they really benefit from your service, and can you kind of articulate that into a tangible benefit, like you're able to save them time, save them money, save them headache? Can you kind of walk us through an example of where you've actually added value to your customers?
Boy, of all the ones that we talk about on a daily basis within the Xeno walls, I don't want to really get into names and details, but I can tell you that there are large organizations which we service right here in the Houston area that started off as just thinking of us as a copier company. So they knocked on our door, or one of our sales reps knocked on their door, and made their way through to where they looked at us as their copier company. And over time of consistent service and consistent follow-up and really becoming a part of their organization by knowing their aches and pains, we've made our way where we were there, whether it be good timing or whether it be just persistence. We're there for them to help clean up their processes and save them time and money.
Casey, is there a particular size of business, size range that is kind of a sweet spot for you guys?
No, not at all.
So how small and how large?
Well, today's workplace looks nothing like it did for our parents. And I'm a 40-something-year-old guy, so when I say my parents, I'm actually talking about maybe Mark Newton's age. That would
be, by the way, your vice president for sales, and trying to drag him into this conversation while he's trying to sit quietly and politely over there. But anyway, go ahead.
No, anybody that has any need, whether it be a pair of desktop printers and maybe they want to consolidate into a single multifunction device. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got a great strategy with North American deployment, and a lot of times what that means is that some of those machines will make their way over to Puerto Rico or Europe or Canada or Mexico, and so whether it be one device or 2,000, the sky's the limit, and some of the things that Xeno Imaging is really, really good at. Some of the things. Let me just talk about one, is that we are absolutely fearless. There is a difference between fearless and out of your league, and I think the intelligence level that we have for the engineers and specialists on our staff are second to none. Mm-hmm. So we will walk right in and do the best we can with that engagement.
And by the way, in Mark's defense, there's no way you could be his dad. Maybe uncle of the youngest brothers, but no way he could be dad. Just in his defense. So go ahead, Charles. We got maybe a minute and a half so left. Why don't you begin to wrap it up for us?
So if one of our listeners wanted to get in touch with you guys, number one, how would they do it? And kind of what is the initial process? Like, what kind of questions would you ask? What's the process for that you walk your prospects through, to provide them a solution to the documentation needs?
Well, to get in touch with us, if you dial the 713-722-8778 number, you'll get our corporate office here in Houston and then be transferred to whichever location best suits your needs, whether you be in Houston, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, you name it. But the typical engagement is exactly the opposite of that. We don't have a typical engagement. Blocking out 15 minutes to sit down with one of our specialists that will listen to what your pain points are and go in without any preconceived notions of what it is that we want to sell you. We really want to become a solutions partner so that we can help you grow and in the meantime help Zeno grow as well.
Yeah, and that, again, is ZenoImaging.com, ZenoImaging.com. Charles Alvarez, you can always reach him at CornerstoneBusinessAcademy.com. Thanks to both of you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
All right, when we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. And also, the best content here shows up over there at USDailyReview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow on Twitter. Have a great day spending it right here.